And it is true. Like, are you really a runner if you don't talk about your poop schedule with your friends? Like, I start every long run with like, I didn't take a poop yet.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 39 of the On the Runs podcast. How is everyone doing? We are coming to you virtual from our bedroom studios. Erica, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Not bad. I have a flight in the morning I got to catch, and I've yet to pack.
Man, you and your work trips. I wish I got to travel for work. Where are you going this time?
Well, I'm flying into Vegas.
All right.
But I won't be spending my time in Vegas. I'll be spending my time about... I guess we're staying half an hour outside Vegas, but we will actually be in the Nevada desert for a little bit. So a little different this time, different scenery. Don't really know what I'm getting into as far as the landscape and where I've been, but it will probably be very cool and very different. And I'm looking forward to it. It's a quick trip. I go out tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Come back Friday. And hopefully I'll be grabbing a beer somewhere. You'll find out Friday on my way back. We'll fill you in on where I'm going to grab a beer.
If you're not back in time, man, I'll have two for you.
That's right. So
I'll double fist.
Hey, I want to show you these. I wish we could record this, but these just came in the mail.
Are those what I think they are? Those look like more UFOs. Did I get you hooked? Are you hooked? You
did get me hooked. These are some UFO sandals. They're actually a Christmas gift that I had to return and get a different pair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first ones I got were the slides. These are like the thongs, the ones where it just slide into the toe. The slides, the size was right, but my foot wouldn't fit into the slide the way I wanted it to. It wasn't.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Actually, I got the other ones right here. So I bring up UFOs, though, not just because I got it, but you got featured in an UFO commercial, an UFO reel.
You can't just say I got featured. We got featured. Yeah, when I gave them to you, we did a little gift exchange, and UFOs used them in one of their reels. So that was pretty fun.
How cool was that? It was they took our like long 1.5 minute reel and edited into a few quick clips along with other ones of other people giving theirs. But the best part was, the coolest thing was that we were the first thing you saw in the reel. It was us doing the podcast.
It was very cool. But hey, like I keep saying, I'm just so happy I got to share my love of those shoes with some other people. And I just hope you guys like them as much as I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited. They'll be in the bag, flying to Nevada with me, and I'll be wearing those as well as the other UFOs you got me that were featured in the reel. So that is great.
Awesome.
That is great.
I'm very jealous. You're going to need flip-flops.
Yeah.
Up here is way too cold.
I don't know what the weather's not. It's not Florida weather out there right now. It maybe gets the 60s. No, maybe it gets into the 60s.
I would take that. Anything over 40 degrees is flip-flop weather for me.
Well, as anything that's not windy. If the wind is what blows. So
we did talk about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I can deal with the cold as long as there's no wind. So, hey, we have a awesome interview, and we're going to get right to it because it's a long interview, and I got to pack and do a few things. So the UFOs thing was cool. Really appreciate them doing that. So thank you to UFOs. This is coming out just from you and me. There's no paid sponsorship there. Maybe one day, UFOs, hey, we are available. So
yeah,
I say we get right to it. Why don't you give everyone a little preview of our interview?
If you guys remember listening to one of our past episodes about Anchor Down, we have a repeat customer. And she's so nice. We've got her on twice.
I wouldn't call her a customer. She didn't pay.
I guess not, but
repeat.
She's just wonderful. And we're so happy to get her back. And we actually get to learn more about her instead of just that one race. So this was a nice experience.
She's a repeat friend of the pod. That's what we're going to call friend of the pod. No customers
I like that
here.
Better.
Friend of the pod.
All
you who come on and all you who interact, friends of the pod. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to have Katie, our friend of the pod, back on. So why don't we get to it, Erica?
Yes, let's. You guys are going to really enjoy this next episode with Katie P.
Our next guest is making her second appearance on the pod. We are so excited to have her. She's one of the 440 crew. She's from Well, I think she's from New Hampshire, and apparently she likes to run in her underwear. Katie Pisani, welcome back to the podcast. How are you?
I am so good, and I'm so happy to be here. So thank you very much.
We are super excited to have you back, Katie. Welcome. Welcome again.
Oh, it's awesome.
Last time we talked to you, it was right after the Anchor Down Ultra. You made your first attempt at an ultra marathon. I think your goal was 50 miles. I can't remember. Did you hit that 50-mile mark?
So it was my first trail ultra. I hit the required laps. So I think that was just over 40. I had done a 50 miler the fall prior, but it was all road and it was beautiful and I didn't bust my butt running. So, but yes, it was my first trail ultra.
That's right, because you busted your butt at Anchor Down.
I remember that bruise. Oh, that was a nasty bruise.
And the bruise is gone, but there's still a bump.
Ooh.
No way.
Are you going to show us like last time? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to take your pants off yet. We'll talk about that when we get to the Undies run. So, how have you been? What have you been up to since August?
I've been good. So since August, I did run my 50 miler again, which is the Can Lake 50. It's 50 miles around Lake Canandaigua in New York. So I did that and I cut 10 minutes off my time. So I think I did it in 9 hours and 51 minutes. So
very, very good.
I absolutely love the race. As you both know, I think the support at the aid stations are like top notch. So similar to Anchor Down, I absolutely fell in love with the crew that was working each of the aid stations. They're just so supportive. Less than 200 people run this race, so it's incredibly small. But yeah, I loved it. I beat last year's time. And since then, I ran in the Manchester Relay with some of the 440 crew. So that was fun. And then I did do the Millennium Mile, but I have done no other races other than that. But I am currently signed up for 3 marathons this year and I'm contemplating the hamster wheel. So.
Oh, we might have a big hamster wheel team.
Do it. You're going to have a good crew if you do.
That'll be a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of penguins on that crew. I hope you like penguins.
I do. I'm a big fan of penguins.
Wonderful. All right, Katie. So now we know you are an ultra runner through and through. But last time we talked to you, we just talked about Anchor Down and we didn't get a lot of your origin story. So why don't you go into what got you into running or even what other sports you did growing up? Just what started your love of running?
Well, growing up, I was a dancer. I did the ballet, tap, jazz, lyrical. I did that through high school and college. In middle school, I ran track, your basic 100-meter dash, maybe the 400 hurdles, but nothing super hard or strenuous. In fact, I actually didn't like practices because it involved a lot more running. So the 100-meter dash was my jam because it didn't involve distance. I did the triple jump, long jump, shot put, and then went into high school and, thought I could join track again. And quite frankly, I was like, wow. I almost hoped for injuries so I could be part of the team, but not have to run, which is so bad. But I got through that. It was great. I loved the camaraderie of the team, but I just didn't love running. But again, loved the team. They were all true runners and all loved the sport. And I just wanted to be a part of that. And then in college, I actually joined cross country. And I remember after the first meet, I came in dead last. And I didn't have a bad time whatsoever. I think I had 24 minutes for the 5K, which isn't a horrible 5K time at all.
No.
But in college, I came in dead last. So I was like, it was pretty horrible having my whole team wait for me at the very end. So I did some soul searching. I'm like, maybe I should change my mind and not do it. So,
but were they waiting for you, cheering and going crazy as the last runner? You see that sometimes in marathons.
Well, 2 of my friends who had finished in the 18-minute mark, 17-minute mark, they came and joined me to help me cross the finish line. So the team, like I said, wholeheartedly was incredibly awesome, but I, again, was way over my head. So it wasn't until I had really moved to, and I've lived all over. I should also say that too. I lived in Southie. My roommate would ask me, to run around Castle Island. I would do it, but I'd be losing air. I couldn't do it. I could barely make it halfway around Castle Island without like stopping. My husband and I moved to Arizona, and I did all the fun runs, but I only did the fun runs because it involved running a quarter of a mile and then doing an obstacle, running another quarter of a mile, doing another obstacle. And the obstacles were silly. They were like, do 15 jumping jacks, or crawl under this, or jump over a flaming bush or something. But it didn't involve a lot of running. And it wasn't until 2018 that I was like, maybe I should start running. And my sister-in-law at the time had said, I think we should sign up for this half marathon. It's in Bar Harbor. Let's do it. And I was like, all right. So I signed up, and I was like, oh, I can just go out and run 13. Like, how hard can that really be? And so I signed up for that in April, and then June comes along, and my husband said, are you going to start training? And I'm like, I don't really need to train. And he goes, you're going to have to run 13 miles. I think you need to train. So I was like, all right. And sure enough, I couldn't even make it half a mile without stopping. And I was like, all right. So, and it was hard. So in 2018, I would run a half a mile, walk a quarter, run another half a mile, walk a quarter until I could make it a mile, and then eventually 2, then 3, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, and then my sister-in-law ended up not being able to run it, so I ran Mount Desert Island solo. It was an awesome first experience. But before I even ran Mount Desert Island, I had applied to run with Boston Children's Hospital for the Boston Marathon. So I hadn't even run my first long distance race, and I was like, I'm going to run a marathon.
Good for you.
And then I got accepted into the Boston Marathon, and again, still had yet to run. So I could have hated the half. And here I am already gung-ho, signed up, pledged to raise X amount of money. And so I was like, I better like long distance because I'm doing it. And then before I even ran Boston, I signed up for Chicago, or I signed up for the lottery, and I found out I got into Chicago before I even ran Boston. So I hadn't even run one marathon, and I'm signed up for 2. So that is my running story. And long story short, I fell in love with it. Clearly, it's something that I realized that if I had only given myself the chance years prior, I probably would have stuck with it, because something like, oh, I'm actually, I'm not fast, I'm not slow, but like I enjoy it. Like I love running to run.
I see where this is going. In middle school, high school, and college, you were an average, normal person. You ran a little bit here and there, but eventually you turned into what you called yourself the other day, or what you said all the other moms call you, Katie the crazy running lady. And we're going to learn a little bit about how you went from normal to crazy, because you wake up well.
You went 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds. 0 to marathon right away.
Well, and it all started. So I now work from home full time, but prior to that, I was driving to Merrimack every single day. And my girls would have to be dropped off at daycare by 6:30. So I needed to get my run in prior to that. So that required like 3 a.m. wake ups and getting my miles in before X amount of time so I could get home, get lunches, breakfast, shower, and then get them dropped off at daycare so I can get to work by like 7:30.
Wow.
So they would see me and my vest that's flashing all sorts of different colors, running around their neighborhood. And at the time, they didn't really know me, and they have since gotten to know me, and we've become very close friends. But they're like, what is this person doing at 3:00 in the morning, running around our neighborhood in this like Las Vegas style, like running vest? So I've been an early morning runner since the very beginning. 3 a.m. wake ups. I'm usually out the door by 3:15. Running solo. So
oh my God, that is so crazy and wild. Okay. All right, Katie. So that was like 2012 to 2018. 2012, you're in Arizona. Go back to the 2008 Boston Marathon for me.
So 2008, I had just moved. Well, I moved to Boston, and I had just moved to Southie. So I'm living in Southie, and we took the bus, to Copley Square, and decided, let's watch the marathon. And I remember in 2008, I'm standing there, and I am watching all the runners cross the finish line, grab their banana, get the warming blanket at the end of the race. And I said out loud to my two roommates at the time, that will be me one day. Like, I am determined. I think I was just more excited to get the warming blanket at the end of any type of run than to cross Boston. But I said that. I was like, I'm going to get that dang banana and that warming blanket one way or another. And I always knew I wanted it to be Boston, but also at that time, I didn't realize how coveted and difficult it was to actually run Boston. Mm-hmm. I just thought, anyone runs. Like, you just need to be able to run 26 miles. Little did I know that it's one of the most sought after races in the world.
So didn't something else happen in the 2008 Boston Marathon with maybe a guy who plays basketball?
Yes. So my roommates and I had been walking around and having a good morning, got up, we're celebrating, keeping ourselves warm however we could. I may have had a beer or two, and walking back, we're trying to get a different location to get closer to the finish line. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going, and I walked smack dab into a tall gentleman, and I got knocked to the ground. And this tall gentleman wanted to make sure I was okay. And I was like, I'm absolutely okay. I was more apologetic because I felt like the silly person who had bumped into him. And then sure enough, he helped me up, and he quadruple checked to make sure that I was okay. And then after he had left away, my roommates go, "You do know who that was?" And I had no idea. I had no idea. Just a tall, handsome gentleman. And sure enough, it was Ray Allen.
Not a big deal. It was just April of 2008, about 2 months before they won the NBA championship. The big three were kind of doing their thing, and they're pretty much the three faces all around Boston around that time. And yeah. Oh,
Katie, I wouldn't have known either. Don't feel bad.
You just bumped right into him, and oh my God. And he asked you like 4 times, are you okay? I mean, yeah, that's kind of funny. That's funny.
He was incredible and very kind, and
I hope you run into him one day and say, "Do you remember me?"
It made for a memorable experience. Yeah.
It was very memorable, and I felt incredibly silly. And had I paid more attention, I'd only been to a Celtics game at the 300 level, so
that's the best level.
It is my favorite level. So.
Oh, you know what? Can I ask you about Mike? I want to know how you guys met and all that stuff.
So Mike and I have kind of a funny history. We got married in 2012, so we're almost at 13 years married. Started dating in 2009. However, so we met the very traditional way on Match.com. But the funny thing was, 2007, when I had moved to Boston, one of my girlfriends, Katie, had said, "Hey, why don't you come to my Halloween party? You can meet some of my friends, some Hartwick." I went to Hartwick College in Oneonta, New York, but she goes, "There'll be some Hartwick people there. And then there'll be a few other friends that went to college here that I've met." I'm like, "Perfect." She goes, "That will, you just moved here. Let's have some fun." And so I was like, "Can I bring my roommate? Would that be okay?" She was, "Absolutely, bring your roommate." So we get all dressed up. We do the Halloween thing. We go. And sure enough, there's this guy here. Now, I had zero interest in dating. I just wanted to enjoy Boston, get the lay of the land. This gentleman approaches me, and he was dressed as Kid Rock, and blonde wig, scraggly hair, just, and he comes up to me and he goes, "So, I've been watching you. Can I take you out to dinner sometime?" And I looked him straight in the eyes, and I kind of like did the, "No, I'm okay. Like, I'm not interested in dating right now." And so my roommate and I stayed maybe 15 minutes later, but we all know like South Boston apartments aren't very big. My girlfriend had a dog, and the dog didn't get let out in time and went number 2 in the hallway. So of course,
Code Brown.
It had a code brown in the hallway of the South Boston apartment, which radiated through the entire party. And I was like, I look at my roommate at the time. I'm like, you know what? That's our indication to bounce. So we went across the street to whatever, I forget what the name of the bar was across the street at the time. And that was it. I didn't even think twice. I really haven't met anyone. So went on Match.com. I did the whole wink or nudge or whatever you do. And
Facebook
we connected. Poke. I connected with this guy, and his name was Mike. And we were chatting. Both of our parents had houses on a lake. We had a lot in common. And then eventually we were like, let's set up a first date. He lived in Dorchester. I lived in Southie. Door to door, it was maybe 3 miles. And I'm like, let's go to the Boston Beer Garden right on Broadway. We'll have a beer, see where it goes. Now, mind you, I had to work that day. I was working retail at the time. So we didn't meet up until almost 10:30 at night. I go home. My same roommate who was at that party 2 years prior, she goes, you can't go out right now. It's 10:30 at night. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but and I walked there because I walked anywhere. So I get there. But we had made plans. I'll rewind just a little bit. Mike and I had made plans to meet up. And so I think I had conned him into friending me on Facebook so I'm like, oh, I have pictures of all the baking that I do. If you want to see them, friend me on Facebook. So we did the whole Facebook friend thing, and he sends me a text and he goes, I'm so sorry, but I think this has to end before it begins. And I said, what? Why? And he goes, Katie's Halloween party, 2007.
Oh, he remembered.
And I said, and he goes, it's kind of hard. My husband loves cars, and I was dressed as a race car like girl. And he goes, it's pretty hard. He goes, you're in the background of like 3 of my Halloween pictures.
Oh.
So he goes, he said to me, you turned me down once. I don't need to be turned down again.
Oh.
Standing his ground. I love it, Mike. Good on you, Mike.
So what are the chances that, we meet 2 years prior, I say no, and then 2 years after the fact, we meet and we go out, we close down the bar, and then he ended up driving me back because he wasn't going to let me walk back to my apartment at 1 a.m. So we closed down the bar, and the rest is history.
Mike, you're a good guy. That's just a great story.
Well, and then, and then you look at almost like 14 years later, and he's running 10 miles on untrained legs.
Check that out. That's Kid Rock right there.
Yeah, that is him.
I love that.
I'll put these on the Instagram for everyone. But there's Mike dressed as Kid Rock for Halloween. And there's our race car girl.
Right on
there. Pictures from the Halloween party. Thank you so much for all the pictures you sent me, by the way, Katie.
Oh, yes. Well, you had to see the behind the scenes and the pictures I did send you are all from all of the races, bigger races that I've completed.
Yeah, this is awesome. Some great stuff here, Katie. I love it. I'm going to now have to ask all the guests, instead of, can I screenshot your Instagram pics? Can you just send me some of your favorite pics and I'll throw in? I got like a dozen photos here from Katie. I love it. And I was wondering what the Kid Rock and the race car girl photo was going to be. Now it makes sense.
Yep. So that is me at the Halloween party in 2007, where I did decline Mike's dinner invite.
But it's been a happy ending. There you go. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe it was his Kid Rock look or something, or maybe it was the cancer stick hanging out of his mouth.
And he's not a smoker. Like, never has a day in his life. So that's what makes
just a prop. Then that's fine.
You go to the 2008 Boston Marathon. You bump into Ray Allen, and then you meet Mike somewhere along the line. You go to Arizona. You do your little obstacle races. In 2008, you said, I will cross this finish line one day. I think you accomplished that a few years ago.
I did. So in 2019, I crossed the Boston Marathon finish line. I was lucky enough to be asked to run with the Boston Children's Hospital, which is near and dear to my heart. They're the #1 children's hospital in the world. And they do amazing things day in and day out. And Boston Children's Hospital actually asks about, I think they get 200 people. And our team that year was something pretty special. We were all very incredibly close. And it was just awesome. I looked forward to each and every single Saturday with the long runs. We got to run the course or bits and pieces of the course, which was just awesome.
I used to like those runs. I only made it down to Boston for a couple of times when I was running for my charity, but it was so worth it to get to meet all the different charity members, just see what you're in for, especially running the Heartbreak Hill and all the hills, actually. But yeah, very worthwhile.
So I loved it. And honest to goodness, like as far as marathon goes, I think I was way underprepared. I think I've listened to a dozen of your podcasts where people have all said the same thing. Like it was my first marathon. I hit the wall. I just couldn't get over it. I felt horrible. And I specifically remember at almost like mile 18, I was like, I did not feel well. I was fueling, but not appropriately. I didn't bring my own handheld, so I only had what the course water and the course Gatorade, which was not what I was used to using during all of my runs. So I think that may have affected me a little bit. But on my singlet, you can write your name, and people are like, "Katie, you're not going to make it." And I'm like, "Shh." Like I could hear people saying it. They're like, "Oh, that Katie girl, she's not going to." I must have looked purple because I was hurting. Like there's some pictures of me from that race that I struggle bus. But then I got to the top of Heartbreak Hill, and that's where my patient partner was standing. And it was exactly the life that I needed to be added to my runs. I gave him the biggest hug, and I ended up finishing and a pretty decent time for a first marathon. So overall, I was just so pleased, but I remember finishing and I felt bad. Like I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to drink. I had no desire to celebrate. I just wanted to go. I really just wanted to get home and get a shower and go to bed. But since then, after every single race, I'm like, all right, where's the food? Where are the beverages? Like, let's
There you go.
celebrate. So I think, I have learned how to fuel appropriately, how to rest, and how to just run. I think I went out way too hot and then just crashed.
Well, Boston is one hell of a first marathon, but right after you said you had already signed up for Chicago. So you spent that time dialing in your nutrition and training and all that stuff. How did Chicago go for you?
Chicago was amazing. I want to run that course again. I loved it wholeheartedly. One of my girlfriends that was part of the Boston Children's team actually came and cheered me on. Mike and the girls couldn't make it out. So one of my friends that I ran with Boston Children's Hospital said, "You know what? I'm going to come and be your cheerleader." Because she did that for me, I'm like, "Listen, I'll pay for all of your food. Already got the hotel room, obviously. So just come out." And let me tell you, when she made it to like 6 different locations on that course, she managed to make it. I saw her at like every corner. How she did it, I don't know.
Magic.
But it was a beautiful run, and it was very emotional for me. And I think people who are close to me know that I had lost my mom shortly after Boston. So running Chicago was in complete 100%. Like I was honoring her that entire race. So I definitely think she was on my shoulder, pushing me along.
I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. Yeah, but that's wonderful that you had her with you for that race to definitely turn things around.
Absolutely. One of the pictures I actually sent to you is at the finish line of the Boston Marathon, and you see me looking at my watch. And it wasn't because I was looking at my time, because again, I could have cared less. I had no time expectations. My mom and dad were watching from home, and my mom had gotten very sick. And at the time, we didn't know how sick she had gotten. But my name must have populated. They must have seen my number and already put it as a finisher, like on the screen of the TV. And she was calling me, and I still have the voicemail on my phone to this day. And she's just like, Katie, you said you were going to be a marathoner. Look at you. You're a marathoner. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. But again, I'm looking at my watch at the time and I'm like, what is my mom doing calling me as I'm crossing the finish line? I didn't know why, but I was like, Mom, I'm running a marathon right now. Why are you calling me? So that picture, I'm like literally looking at my watch and I'm like, what is going on? But it's a silly picture, but at the same rate, it holds so much meaning. So although my finish line pictures aren't 100% beautiful, I know my mom is with me in that picture.
She had spectacular timing.
She did.
Yeah.
She most certainly did.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Katie.
I know that was very deep. I'm sorry. I did not.
Hey, we love our funny stories, but we love the deep ones too.
Yeah.
We all encompass. That's what we like, an all-encompassing podcast.
If you need Code Brown to make you laugh, I can.
Oh, we're gonna get to Code Brown, and I want some
We can save those. Yeah.
I also want some 440 stories. All right, but I
yes.
think let's transition to running in your underwear.
Yes. So every year since 2015. So this will be my 9th year running the Cupid Undie Run. And what the Cupid Undie Run is, it's a run that is held across the country. I think there's maybe 40 different cities that it's held in. And the premise of the race is you're invited to run in your underwear legally in these cities. In Boston, you start at one of the local bars. It's been the Cask, it's been the House of Blues, it's been Lansdowne Pub. It's been a variety of bars around Fenway Park. And you get to start, you run down the street, you run actually through Fenway Park in your underwear and then back around. So it's a little bit less than a mile. So to say that it's an actual race, it is not. It's a run just to bring awareness. The whole premise is to bring awareness to those living with neurofibromatosis.
Which you have, right?
Which I do have. I was diagnosed at 8 years old. My daughter, Charlotte, actually she was also diagnosed. People living with NF have a 50% chance of passing it on to their children. So my oldest child does not have it, but Charlotte does. But so there's no fundraising requirement. The fundraising is simply, you just do it. With the Cupid Undie Run, if you do raise $250, you get open bar for the duration of the party that is held. So there's a 5-hour party that occurs during this run. You get to party for 2 hours, you race, and then the last 2.5, you can continue to drink. So I think, that they do that simply because they want people to, raise the money and want to get that. But again, you could go and raise $5. And again, you don't have to raise anything. Even the registration fee goes directly to the Children's Tumor Foundation. Neurofibromatosis, for those that don't know, it causes tumors to grow anywhere there's a nerve on your body, which means anywhere on the skin, underneath the skin, anywhere you have a nerve. I have hundreds throughout my body.
Hundreds?
I do. I get MRIs once a year. My last one was in December. They do a brain and face to monitor the ones that they know I have and to make sure that I don't have any new ones. And then next year they'll alternate and I'll do the whole, from neck down. And then again, it's just to monitor and to see how you're doing. Almost 99%, and that percentage is not correct, so I apologize. But the majority of neurofibromatosis tumors are benign. They're non-cancerous. They're just there. The unfortunate part is for the ones that are dermal and that are on the skin, it's considered cosmetic. So if people want to have them removed, because unfortunately, for some, it's very, very obvious. And insurance doesn't cover the removal of them because it's seen as a cosmetic procedure, which is incredibly unfortunate.
I hate insurance companies. Hate them.
So And I mean, it's understandable. It's like a mole. Like if you have a mole and you want to get that removed, you have to pay because again, the mole's not going to hurt you. So because
Mhm.
these aren't, unless it's bringing like severe pain and you can have ample evidence. I mean, it's the unfortunate part of it. So
Mhm.
I have run this, like I said, for the past 9 years. It's something that I love bringing awareness and just so people know about it because it's one of those silent, quiet, you really don't know. Like if you didn't know it about me, you wouldn't know it about me. I talk about it obviously between December and like March when I'm trying to raise money. But other than that, I mean, it's there. It's my own personal battle, but I don't talk about it other than that.
I got questions. You have over 100 of these. I don't want to call them little tumors, but you have over 100 of these tumors. Do you have to get everyone tested?
No, you don't. They can usually tell. They're little, they're small, they're lesions. A lot of them, like I have, I mean, some on top of my skin, some you can see, some you can't see. And a lot of NF patients do. They're just small. They call them lesions on various parts throughout the body, whether it's on, your liver, your whatever. That's just an example. So they're all over, and there's no rhyme or reason. So no two people are the same. It does not affect any one person the same. I might have a mild case, whereas the person down the street who has it might have it pretty severe and not be able to walk, might not be able to run. It's pretty crazy. And it's a bummer. Sometimes I think, why me? Because I was the first in my family. They call mine a spontaneous case. No one else in my family line has it. It's just a lot. People carry it. Like there are people like, who do carry, the gene with them. And I was just lucky enough to be born with it.
So one in every 2,500 people are born with neurofibromatosis. Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
Oh, wow, Erica, look at me go with my pronunciations.
Proud of you.
It is one of the most common generic disorders and affects over 130,000 Americans. And like you said, 50%, you have a 50% chance of passing that along.
Mm-hmm.
It is a unpredictable genetic disorder of the nervous system that affects almost every organ system in the body, including your skin. This is the first I'm really learning about this. I want to caution everyone if you Google it and do an image search. Caution. Spread caution there.
It's very difficult to see, and it's scary to look at. And like I said, there's no rhyme or reason. And so going back to why you wear underwear, it's because people with tumors can't cover up their tumors. So it's pretty much just say it loud, say it proud. So
Mhm.
wearing that because, I can't cover all of mine. And so by wearing your underwear, you're kind of saying it's okay to be who you are. Just be wild, be free, have fun with it. I mean, not have fun, but have fun with the race.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some people who I go just because they think it's funny to wear underwear around Fenway Park, but then others who really, channel it. I have been part of a team for the past 9 years. It's inspired by Ryan. I ran for two little boys in Boston. He was one of my two, and he has neurofibromatosis. And his case is slightly more severe. He has a tumor that starts at his ear and comes all the way down and like comes around his airways. So he's currently on chemo in hopes to shrink that tumor so it doesn't impact his airways. It's crazy to know how much it can impact people on a day to day.
Do you know how the race started? Do you know how they came up with this concept?
Yes. So in 2010, there was a group of gentlemen by name Brendan, Chad, and Bobby, and they dropped their pants and ran through DC, like in the cold, to raise money and research to help end neurofibromatosis. And then they did this because they wanted, again, to raise awareness for NF, and they decided to strip down in solidarity to just run in their undies. Since 2010, the charity has raised over $21,700,000.
Oh, wow. That's a round of applause moment if I've heard one.
Nice. Nice. I was on it there. 21 million.
And over those 9 years, Katie, how much money have you raised for it? Because I know you do like a good amount of fundraising. You're very good at fundraising. So
I have raised at least $1,000 every year. This year, I'm running in 2 cities. I'll be running in Phoenix and I'll be running in Boston. And I'm at almost $900 for each city right now. So I've almost raised $2,000. And again, there's no requirement. I'm only raising it because I absolutely love it. So I would say there was one year I raised 4,000 or maybe 5. I think all in all, I've definitely raised over $25,000 over the 9 years.
good for you. So I've seen some of your pictures of at least the Boston one, and this takes place in the wintertime.
It takes place on Valentine's Day.
I was going to say
So
V-Day.
you guys are running in your undies around Fenway in the freezing cold. Good thing you guys get those the open bar at the beginning, or at least you can earn your way for the open bar.
Might be some thermal underwear there too, depending where you are.
Hey, that should count.
So what are you doing right now to raise money for it? You got an event coming up this week, and you will be raising money until Valentine's Day and even beyond Valentine's Day, I think.
Yes. So right now, I've really just shared my own personal story on social media sources. My daughter, actually, today is Sunday, so she's going in for an MRI tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It's her first MRI of her brain. One of the tumors that is very common with neurofibromatosis is it's called an optic glioma, which is an optic nerve tumor, which can cause blindness, impairments to vision, etc. So we discovered that she does have a vision impairment last fall. And so out of an abundance of caution, and also just to get a baseline read of her brain, they thought it would be best to go ahead and actually do the MRI. So that is tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Oh, wow. It's very scary, but she'll have you. She'll have you with her.
How is she dealing with it? She's only 8 years old?
So Charlotte is 6. She has no idea.
Same age as my daughter.
She is blissfully unaware of anything, which is kind of beautiful. We did just tell her that we have to go to Boston in the morning and that, everything's going to be okay. And of course, she got all scared and started crying.
Aww.
And then Mike comes over and says, but I'm going too. And that perked her right up. So she's like, okay, mommy knows where to go because mommy always comes. But now that daddy's coming, it's going to be good. And I'm like, well, mommy works from home. Daddy has to go into work. So that is why daddy can't always come. But so she'll be very thrilled to know.
Well, a big day for her, big day for you. I hope everything goes well tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll get good news from that. So this Friday night, I think at Pipe Dream, you have an event going on.
I do. So for Boston, one of the things I did was a pint night, and it did very well. So I was like, you know what? I want to do another pint night. And I love Pipe Dream. They do amazing things for the community. So I contacted them and asked them. So they are on Friday night between 6 and 10 p.m. Any guest that goes through there and has a beer, they will donate $1 for every pint sold between 6 and 10 on Friday night. And all ages are welcome. Both of my children will be there. It'll be a fun event. I'm hoping to have a couple raffle prizes there. Not a ton. I really want to just raise awareness and just bring attention to that and for people to have a good time. They've got great food. Their beer is good, and just to come and have fun. And if I can get some of the running community, some of the 440 crew, some of my other morning running friends, I think it would be just an awesome experience.
Well, the 440 crew, it might be past their bedtime since they get up at 4 in the morning. But
It's going to be past Katie's bedtime too.
That is true, Katie. I hope you get some sleep that night. It is a Friday night. It is Friday night, the 13th. Pipe Dream Brewing. It's at 49 Harvey Road. That's right next to the Manchester Airport. If you have run in the Brewery Chase Relay, it is, I think, the second exchange station.
That sounds right.
Yeah, where runner 2 comes and runner 3 starts. It's the second exchange station. 49 Harvey Road, unit number 4. You can't miss it. It's that road right where you looking down the road and you got the runway and all the airplanes are landing. I will actually be on an airplane landing at about 8:30, but I will be landing in Logan. So I will actually, on my way home, maybe if I get a chance, since it goes till 10 p.m., stop by and grab a drink. Yes, I'm going to do
Katie,
Do it.
just make sure you bring a collection can or something so we can give you some cash donations too.
I know. It's very overwhelming for me too. Even at the Cupid Undie Run, I get teary-eyed. Just know that people are out there to raise awareness. And if anybody can come and be a part of Friday night, it's overwhelming. Especially those that walk through the door, like to know that they're not only supporting, me, but supporting such an important cause. Like I will probably spend 86% of the night in tears, but
not when I show
But
up.
they're happy tears though. So many people there to support you and the cause. And
When I show up at 9:45, I expect you to be about a dozen in the bag and be like, hands up in the air, and I want to meet the whole 440 crew. So if I do this, I want the whole 440 crew to stay.
Oh, I know. Seriously.
I'll even update you when I land or something. I'll be like, okay, I got time. I'll be there. I just got to get to my car and get there. So, all right, I'm going to do that. That will be a lot of fun.
We're looking at you, Tara. Stay up late.
What about you, Erica? You going to meet me there?
I could be there, yeah.
All right.
It's a Friday night.
It's a Friday night. I'm going to be
I may have a long run in the morning on Saturday, but what's some extra carbs, right?
I'm doing my long run Friday morning. So that way.
How many miles?
You'll earn those beers.
How many miles are you going to run that day?
So 13 is on the books. I hired a running coach this year. So it's the first time I have ever had a scheduled plan for what I'm supposed to run, which is very bizarre to me because I used to just run to run and would run 20 miles just for fun. But I know that her method will improve my running. So I'm sticking to it. And I only, quote unquote, I only have 13 miles.
Only
I love
13.
that.
What time will you wake up and start that one?
Probably
early.
Yeah, 3 a.m.
So you're going to make.
Katie.
You might need a pregame nap before the event Friday night at Pipe Dream.
Overrated.
Overrated. Naps are overrated. You don't like naps?
She's a machine.
I love naps. Trust. I absolutely love naps.
It's the best.
We'll see.
It takes any bad mood and turns it into a great mood.
So this was a good segue, Katie, because now that you mentioned having a running coach and doing long runs, you can tell us about what else you have on the schedule this year.
Yes. So I currently am registered for 3 marathons. I will be doing the Cheat Marathon in Derry, New Hampshire. It's a millennium race. I ran it last year and I missed my dream goal by 11 seconds.
Oh, Katie, I remember that. I remember seeing you there.
You know what I heard? I heard the cheap marathon isn't so cheap anymore.
Oh, I figured that out, by the way. I wound up signing up for it too, so I'll see you there, Katie. They had tiers this year. For the first 100 people, you got the $26.2 price, and then from 101 people to 250, it was $40, and then for anybody over that, it was $50. So I figured it out.
It's still cheap. And I knew it's in my backyard pretty much. So I absolutely love the race. It's well done, even though it's an out and back twice. We're
used to loops.
Yeah.
We are used to them.
So last year I want to redo. I ran it in 4 hours and 9 seconds. I think it was 4 hours and 9 seconds. And I wanted a sub 4 so badly. And in that run, my watch at the time died. And so I had no idea what my pace, where I was, how I was doing. So I didn't kick it at the end because I'm like,
I just
gotta,
didn't know.
yeah. So, yep. So I'm signed up for the Cheat Marathon. I'm signed up for the Providence Marathon. And I'm actually signed up for the Mount Desert Island Marathon. I was supposed to run that in 2020, but due to everything that happened in 2020, it was deferred, and you could choose to defer to like 21, 22, 23, or 24. And 23 is my favorite number. So I was like, you know what? Let's run this in 2023. And that was 3 whole years away. So I was
There
like,
you
yeah.
go. Fate.
So I am signed
That's
up for
awesome.
3 races, those 3 right now officially. And then a couple half marathons thrown in there too. I'll do the Covered Bridges Marathon again because it's one of my favorite half marathons.
There may be a
So
certain wheel you'll join us for if
I
we can
want,
pressure you into that.
well, the reason I want to join that wheel race is
It's
because I
because
know
of
it's
us.
flat. Well, yes. And I know that you're going to have like an entourage, and I want to invite myself into the entourage.
You are there,
And
my friend.
I also know that it's trail, but not technical-ish. So my chances
Katie, I can vouch for you. There will be no roots or rocks or hills.
One
All right,
section.
there's one
there's
hill,
one. There's
but
one section of the hill. It's also
you can
kind of,
walk it.
but
Everybody walks
it's
it.
a little rocky on the hill too. But the trail is beautiful. Trail is perfect.
and I think my goal is to get that waist headlamp that was discussed on the last podcast I was in, and just get that, so I'm good to go for the night.
The
portion.
18-wheeler high beam light, you mean?
Yes.
Wait, what was that one? Tell me again.
Remember Callie said it was like the high beam for an 18-wheeler?
Yeah, I need to know what it is again. So you got to look that up.
Oh,
and
the
tell me,
light.
'cause
Oh, you
I need one too.
Oh, we'll
No,
find
I
it.
need to know. I need some product info. Give me an Amazon link, something like that.
Oh, we got it somewhere deep buried in our chat. We'll find that. So
Perfect.
So how's it working out with the coach then, with everything you got planned?
So I've only worked with her for 1 week. She actually lives in Germany, so everything is done virtually. She coaches quite a few people. She actually coaches one of the 440 crew, and then she also is a coach of 2 other individuals that I run with. But each of our plans are completely different. She is phenomenal. She's allowing me to keep my run streak, which a lot of run coaches almost require you to have a day or 2 off. They don't want you to run every day, but she's followed my running now, I think, for a year and a half, simply because I've run with so many of her athletes that she just started following me too. So she knows that I have a streak. So my recovery days are 1 to 2 miles, and she keeps those on the plan, which is awesome. But so far, it's weird because my runs actually have meaning now. So some days I have speed work, and some days I actually have technical work and pickups. And I'm like, wow, this is just nothing I ever did before. So far, I mean, again, I've only had 7 runs with her, but I love it.
So I'm connecting the dots maybe. She's been following you for a while. And every episode I put out, I can go and look and see what cities and countries listen to us. And every day on the first day, we get 3 in Germany. It's not just like once in a while. It's every episode, Germany, 3. I wonder if she's one of them. I was gonna mention it to you, Erica, saying, who are these people? Hey, shout out to Germany. Who, we got listeners out there and they listen consistently. I wonder if that's her.
It very well could be. She just moved to Germany. She was in Israel last year, and now she's in Germany this year. So,
well, look at
she's
that.
Pretty phenomenal.
I think I connected the dots. Well, that's cool. That is really cool. All right, cool. So you like the
Well, hey, what's cooler? We cannot glaze over this. Katie has a very, very impressive run streak, and you need to tell the listeners about it.
Yes. So March 14th, 2012.
Was that like the day?
Friday. It's ironically enough, it was Friday the 13th, I think, was like the day.
Everything shut down.
Yep. I got the call from work. I got the call from my daughter's school, got the call from my daughter's daycare. Like, we need to take some time off all this. And I may have even run that Friday, but I didn't. I started counting that Saturday. Like, that Saturday was the day I was like, and I remember I ran, I was like, wow, I just ran every single day for a week. Like, let's just see. And then a few people were like, that there's such thing as like streaking. Like, there's a Run Streaker International. Like, you can become part of this. So I'm like, let's see if I can make it a month. And then it was 2 months and 3 months. And then it turned into like a year and then 500. And as of this morning, I have run 1,030 days in a row.
Wow. Yes.
Press the damn button, dude. I'm like giving him the hand signal to press the button.
Oh,
for
you
the
gave me the
applause.
hand signal, so I started clapping too.
Oh man,
And I don't
super
own
impressive.
I don't own a treadmill. So
And you don't walk. You don't count walks. You run.
I run. But so up until probably 3 months ago, I think my lowest mileage had been like 3 miles. But finally, I was like, you know what? I need to have recovery days. Like even before I got a coach, I'm like, let's do a rest day mile. But I go out and I run it no matter what, no matter the weather conditions, I will go. There was only one time I had to run loops inside of my house, and that's because we had gotten like 18 inches of snow and the roads hadn't been plowed.
That's allowed.
My driveway hadn't been cleared, and I was like, you know what? Better safe than sorry. And it may have taken me like 14 minutes, but it was a run, but it's hard to run at full speed.
You did it. You did it.
Turning lots of turns.
You went
But
out
yeah,
there
you
with the
gotta-
intention
You play
of
it
doing
safe, right?
Yeah.
I did one in the Orlando airport because
In the airport.
yeah,
Tell me this about this one.
I was down in Orlando.
You were running through the terminals back and forth?
I definitely did. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it when we get home because by the time we get home, we have XYZ. Like, there's just going to be no time. And so I packed my running sneakers in my carry-on bag. So Mike says to me, I had a skirt on, it was an athletic skirt, like it was a cotton skirt. He said, just go run your mile right now. So I'm like, twist my arm. So just threw on my sneakers and ran through the terminals of the Orlando airport.
That is great. Well, were you? What kind of looks were you getting?
Oh, I'm sure people thought I was crazy. I mean, it was empty enough because it was still so early.
Okay.
But at the same rate, I think.
Were you already through security check?
Yes, I was already through security.
Okay, so you already took that little trim over, and you're just running back and forth. How did you know exactly to do a mile? How were you able to track that?
Oh, my watch.
So it still worked GPS inside?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so hilarious. I love that. That is why we do this. All right. Hey, we've been going for a long time, and we have yet to talk about the 440 crew and the Code Browns. So I need to hear some 440 stories. I have a goal. Everyone in that 440 crew, I have a goal to get every one of you on this podcast, and I want dirt on every one of you too. So
they're all awesome. Like there's I say it all the time. There's something incredibly special about running friends. I mean, you can make friends wherever you go, but I feel like these running humans in my life know more about me, my saddest days, my hardest days, my most anxiety-ridden days, my happiest moments. They've seen it all. And when you're on a run, anything's fair game. Like you just let it out. And, whether it's 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, running is just the people that has brought into my life is amazing. The 440 crew, I run early. I need to get my runs done early. I knew Tara had run early, so I had started messaging her and I was like, I'd like to kind of join a couple of your runs. So before I got, into they have a messaging chain, and she would let me know about where they were meeting and when, and I made it to one and I fell in love, made it to another one, fell in love all over again, and so on and so forth. And now, mind you, a lot of these runs all take place in Manchester, which is 30 minutes from my house. So when I wake up, I have to wake up 30 minutes earlier to get up because I always have to have coffee before I run. So I get up, I get dressed, I have coffee, I hop in my car. So if they're meeting at 4:40, I'm usually up by 3:15. So that way I can get dressed, have coffee, and hop in my car to drive the 30 minutes to wherever they're running.
So early.
I don't have dirt on any of them. There's nothing Nothing to say about any of them, but they're just an incredible group of women. You can always count on one person to be running either Tuesday or Thursday. 4:40. Sometimes, people need extra miles. They'll meet at 4:30. I think one of the craziest stories that I have is I think we needed 13 miles. And the 4:40 crew, it was like one of those ominous days. Like it looked like rain, but it wasn't sure if it was going to rain. And Lindsay was one of the runners, but we did our 6 miles and everyone went on their way. And then there was like 4 more of us that decided to stay and run the extra 6 miles. About 3 miles into that run, it started thundering and lightning, crazy winds, like severe thunderstorm. And we were in the middle of Manchester in the middle of a thunderstorm. And we're like, well, we could go either run the 3 miles back or we just finish our loop, which was 3 miles. Like it was by far one of the scariest runs. I think when we finished, we all gave each other this warm embrace. Thank God we were still alive, because
Real dodgy.
never would I run through the lightning that we saw. Like no one should have been out in that willingly. But we finished up our extra 6 miles, got our 13 miles in, and took our post-run selfie and called it a day. But that I think is one of the craziest 4:40 stories I have is
that's badass. That is absolutely badass.
Running through a severe thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm. That's almost as badass as you wearing shorts at all temperatures.
I will. So I have decided that if the temperature it feels like under 20 degrees, I will throw on pants now.
That is good to hear, Katie.
But you will find me in running shorts January, February, all 12 months. But this morning, it was cold enough, so I did wear pants.
You would have laughed at me on my run. I had thermal leggings, really thick socks, sweatpants over that. I think I had like 2 layer, like a windbreaker and an Under Armour thing over that, plus a down vest, and then like my Camelback and stuff. And I was freezing still.
When was this?
So this morning I went running.
We're in like the middle of a heat wave.
This was not a heat wave. It was like 26 degrees.
It was cold.
You guys know me. I am a fair weather runner. I hate being outside. I hate being cold. So this was good that I got out today.
I feel like someone else in your 440 crew, Lindsay, who we met on Thanksgiving, she told us that her husband makes her run in pants when it's below freezing.
She does now, yes. So she actually had said that. And Mike, similar, said the same thing. Like, who are you trying to impress? Dress warm. Like, I need you around, more or less. Like, you don't need to get frostbite on your legs. Let's just cover them up.
It's not.
I wear compression socks, so only like all of like 5 inches of my legs are not covered anyways. But I am a little bit warmer with the pants on.
You know what it is? It's not the cold, it's the wind. The wind totally blows, and that's what gets you frostbite. So
yes.
Wind blows.
Yes, it does. Literally and figuratively.
I want to get Lindsay on, and then you know what I think I want to do? I want to get like the whole 440 crew for a sit down.
I think that would be amazing.
That would be so awesome. Let's do that this
summer. I think they would do it.
I know at least you, Tara, and Lindsay would do it. I don't know who else is on it.
I bet we could get Holly for sure. Definitely get Holly. I bet we could get. We definitely could. Even Erica. Oh, yeah, we could definitely get them.
And after we do that, I will join you for one 440 run. Only one.
You have to. And Erica has to join too.
Like, no. I will just tell you, hamster wheel and I'll do a 440 lap with you. So 4:40 a.m. lap.
Lindsay and then Kay, she's another big runner in the area. We would do lunch runs occasionally, so I became very close with the two of them. And so before my day 1000 of my run streak, I had messaged them both because I wanted to hit at least 10 miles for my 1000th day. And no one had that much miles on them, and I didn't really want to run alone. Kay stepped up and she goes, you know what? I am going to come and run with you. So she goes to bed at 2 a.m. So getting up early is not her jam whatsoever.
Okay.
She was there. She met at 5:40. She finished the extra, like whatever it was, 7 miles that we needed to get me to the mileage that I wanted. And it was awesome. And it was near Lake Massabesic, right where like the 10-miler starts is kind of where we ran that day.
Mhm.
And sure enough, she came, she showed up, and she stuck with me for those miles. She was exhausted, but she did it. So that's true running friendship right there.
Mhm.
You know what the 440 crew needs? You either need your own Instagram page or your own hashtag.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to start the hashtag. It's going to be the 440 Run Crew. Put that hashtag in your post, and then give it a couple 440 mornings. You're going to have a big, giant boatload of pictures there, and I can't wait to have more of the 440 crew on the pod. So, Tara had some pretty epic Code Brown stories. How about you? I know you like to have that coffee at 3:15 in the morning, and then you go running.
Yes. So Code Brown story. So there's one, and actually Tara would probably cringe if she heard this, happened on a golf course, but I will hold that thought. So
Sacrilege.
my most recent one happened on my 50-miler that I had. And at one of the aid stations, it was at a boat launch, and they had a porta potty there. You'd think it would be all good. And I'm waiting in line. The girl ahead of me goes, "You don't want to go in there." She goes, "I've never been in a porta potty like that." I'm like, I've run enough races, Ragnar's, whatever else,
Mhm.
I've seen it all. When I tell you that this porta potty was full to the brim of the seat, like there was everything in there, every Code Brown for like the past, and this is more than just the runners of that race. This is obviously all the people launching their boats, whatever else.
Ah.
This porta potty Code Brown was up to the top. Like I could not even use. There was no air mailing it in. There was nothing like. I could not do it. It was the worst porta potty ever. So fortunately enough, Mike had gotten one of those pop-up tents that I could go in, and got a bucket. It was called like a portaloo. And so I got to take care of a Code Brown in the portaloo in the pop-up tent because the porta potty was not going to do it for me.
Oh no. That is rank.
Mike coming in clutch again. Kid Rock coming through.
The portaloo. If I can find that picture, I'll send a funny picture of me holding the portaloo because it's pretty hysterical.
Yes, please.
But when I first moved to Boston, I entered a golf tournament, and it was like the best ball or whatever else. And so there was 4 of us on this golf course, and we were like 9 holes in. And I'm like, I gotta go. They're like, "Kate, you won't be disqualified if you leave right now. Like you can't leave the game." So I ran off into the woods, and
You weren't even running.
I was not a runner in this. This was like 2007. Like running was not. I was in the middle of playing golf. Like this is pretty sad. Like I had Bermuda shorts on. I had the double cup popped collar polos on because that was the look.
Yes.
And I remember I was like, I gotta go. And so my friends joked because they're like, they used my maiden name. They're like, well, I guess Beisler takes a poop in the woods. And yeah, sure enough, they come out there like, you didn't do that. I'm like,
Yes, I did.
it had to happen.
I did notice. So when I went golfing, I'm not a golfer, but I golfed at a bachelor party, and 18 holes is like all day long. It was forever. And I'm like, I think we talked about this with Tara. There were no
I think so,
bathrooms.
yeah.
There were no bathrooms. She goes, there wasn't one. I go, no, there was none. And I'm thinking of 2 separate times I golfed and not being a bathroom anywhere. And I was like, how do you do this? Because the guys all have, coolers full of beer, and I didn't have a Code Brown, but I had to take a number 1, and there was nowhere to go.
No.
And I'm all worried about like breaking the rules or getting the group in trouble because like you're at a golf club or some special place that someone has a membership of. And I'm like, I'm going to get Matt's dad in so much trouble if I do this.
But in all honesty, like it was deep in the woods. Like I think my girlfriends knew it happened, and now all the listeners will know it happened. But
And now Tara will know what happened.
yeah, but
This
you know
was
what?
many years ago. You're fine now.
And it's there's no way it's even there anymore, and it probably sprouted a tree. So we'll see.
Right. It did good. It gave back to the earth.
There you go.
You're doing a good thing, everybody, when you're out there taking a number 2, all right? You're giving back.
And it is true. Like, are you really a runner if you don't talk about your poop schedule with your friends? Like, I start every long run with like, I didn't take a poop yet. If it didn't happen, I'll be like, oh, I got my poop in. Like, it's good. You know,
That's like the first topic of the day. That's how everybody should start
feel
conversation.
Like sometimes when we would meet for runs, Erica, with Katie and Shauna, we would be in that group chat, and it'd be like, I just left. Someone will go, I just left. And someone would be like, I'm on the toilet. I'll be there soon.
Usually that's me.
And then that person's like, I already pooped. I'm good to go.
Sorry. I had to run back in. I wasn't done yet. I came back.
I love it. Katie, thank you. You're awesome. Thanks for coming back on the pod. I want to remind everyone, you can help Katie out this Friday, the 13th, if you go to Pipe Dream right near the airport. $1 from every pint sold will go towards her run and finding a cure for neurofibromatosis.
Yes.
I think my mom's really proud of me right now getting that right.
I think that's amazing.
Yes. And you
We're
know
both
my
proud of
mom.
I do. Your mom is an incredible person.
So you were running in Boston. You were also running in Phoenix. So you're doing 2 runs this year. And
I am.
really, really proud of you, and hope that everything goes great tomorrow for your daughter, and that your fundraising goes great and your run in the underwear goes great. I don't know if I can make it, but I think one day I'll do one of these undie runs.
I think you need to. Well, the run in Boston is so much fun. I mean, again, there's no fundraising requirement. You can just show up day of with the registration and just run.
Well, if I fundraise, I'll just fundraise directly towards you. That's what I'll do.
Well.
Because you're going to do it every year, and we're going to support you. We're going to do our best to support you and others in this community. So really happy you came on and shared your story, talking about NF, talking about your mother, talking about Ray Allen.
I mean, I'm just a wealth of stories.
I love it. That's what we're here for.
We love you, Katie, the crazy running lady.
I am Katie, the crazy running lady. And I do have a Hampstead crew. We actually are Hampstead, Derry, Atkinson, Salem. So we all come together. And on the days that I don't run with the 440 crew, we always meet. We probably have 4 or 5 locations in and around our area. And same thing, same amazing group of ladies, just Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, whatever. We all get together, and again, there's usually at least 2, sometimes up to like 6 or 7 of us that can get together, and they're equally as amazing as the 440 crew. So they were my first running crew before I joined the 440 crew. So they deserve an equal shout out because they too are all absolutely phenomenal and amazing. And
shout out to Hampstead, Derry, Sandown, Atkinson, and Salem.
Yes.
Katie, do you want to pick another song for the playlist?
Do you know, I actually thought about this today.
I forgot about my Instagram photo.
So I thought about it because I was thinking about it today because I had just finished the Amanda episode. I re-listened to the Tara episode, and my daughter had met Tara at the Millennium Mile and fell in love with her. So she was listening to her and she goes, Mom, what's your favorite song? Well, first she wanted me to play her 2 favorite songs because she hadn't heard of Tara's songs. So I played them for her. She goes, what's your song going to be? So I actually, the guy who sang at my wedding, who's actually local to this area, he has a song called Yellow Lines. His name is Brendan James. You can look him up. He has many albums out. He's a finesse, but yeah, Brendan James, Yellow Lines. It's amazing. All of his music is super duper cool, but on my Spotify playlist, he probably allocates at least 25 songs on there.
Excellent. Well, you got it, Katie. He will be on our list too.
I think
just
you
for
will definitely like it. You won't regret it. And
awesome.
We
love supporting local artists as well.
Yes. So he has since moved on, but he does come back to Boston to play. So I'll make sure to let you know when he's in Boston.
Please do.
we'll play like a local place.
All right. Did Eric find a
Yes,
pic?
I did. In that time, I was able to quickly creep through your Instagram account and find a photo. And this one's pretty creepy, I think. So, all right, Katie, I'm going to show you a picture.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm looking at a photo of two baby girl dolls, and you go, slightly creepy, yet very loved baby dolls have gone everywhere. What's up with this photo?
Okay, so I think that was probably taken in 2020. My kindergartner at the time, she didn't go anywhere with them, and she goes, says to me, "Mommy, can you go get, skinny baby and big baby?" Now, now there's a reason. So we thought that they are the same exact doll, 100% the same exact doll. The first one was given to my daughter at birth. It is, and I wish I had it with me. It was a plastic baby doll, but it is literally flat as a pancake because it was plastic and just so loved that all of the plastic and all of the air in it just completely compressed. And she's like this. So her head is full size, but her body is completely like this. We thought we lost it because she could fit into any crevice because she was so skinny. So we purchased a new one that was not as loved, but still loved. And so she still has both of them on her bed. One is still flat. The other one's getting flatter. But yeah, so they went with her everywhere. They don't go she can't go to a sleepover without them, but she doesn't carry them around the house like she used to.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you said. I like what you said at the end of the post. Point of the story and one of my goals for 2021: embrace their creepiness and Audrey's sweet soul.
Yes. So even though she tries to act 17, despite being 8 years old, here she is, a little girl who can't go to a sleepover with her 2 dolls and her teddy bear.
Oh, hold on to that, Audrey. Sweet, sweet thing. Don't grow up. Never grow up.
Don't grow up.
All I'm thinking of are those 2 creepy twin girls from that movie in the hallway. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw the photo.
What, The Shining?
Yes. That's what I was thinking of. The Shining, or the Shining twins there. Yeah. Well, Katie, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. Really love having you here. Can't wait to one day go out there with the 440 crew and to meet the rest of the 440 crew. I can't wait. I will do that for one run, and I'll drag Erica out with me.
Yes, you have to. It would be a blast. And I'll get you guys to come out to Hampstead too, because I think you guys would like that.
I'll try everything once within reason. But Katie, you are wonderful. We love having you. You are welcome anytime because you are just such a delight. So thank you again for coming on and letting us get to know you a little bit better.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. This was such a blast.
Thank you so much for coming back, Katie. We love talking to you and just hearing about all your crazy running stories. That's why they call you Katie, the crazy running lady.
Love you, Katie. Neurofibromatosis. I got my pronunciations down. I'm getting better with this every time. Michaela Shremshock should be proud of me. My mom should be proud of me. I am figuring it out. I am getting better. I am making a little bit of an effort here. So that was quite the story. Some stories from the 440 crew. The golfing story, hilarious.
Oh, Tara, I hope you're not cringing over that story.
I'm sure Tara
She meant no harm. She meant no harm.
You know what? She probably has one of those stories of her own. Let's be honest. She golfs a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But hey, we're the running podcast, so we usually stick to the running story.
Yeah,
that one was just a freebie from Katie.
Yeah, I'm sure Tara can go on the Golfing on the Runs podcast if there is ever something like that out there. So the thunderstorm, but my favorite one was the airport.
I mean, I had to do something like that too. I was in Germany and I walked. I was not the crazy running lady running laps in Orlando, but you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to keep the streak alive, whatever it takes. So good on Katie for getting it done.
Yeah, we really hope everyone can help Katie out with her fundraising coming up this Friday, the 13th of January at Pipe Dream. 49 Harvey Road in Londonderry, New Hampshire, right near the airport. Erica's going to try to be there. I'm going to try to make my way up after I land, coming back from my trip. That would be awesome. One of these days, I'll go on an Undie Run. one of these days I am going to go running with that 440 crew. I kind of want 440 crew. Listen up, okay? I want to do like a roundtable podcast with all you, or at least like 4 or 5 of you. Let's get you on. Erica has a dream of doing an episode while drinking.
I learned this from the It's Always Sunny podcast, so it's not an original idea, but I think it would just be hilarious. Lots of stories will come out when people are drinking.
So that could be a goal for the summertime 440 crew. Let's do it. We'll get Eric out and myself out on a 440 run someday. Make it, the one near Big Lake, Massapequa. So it's a shorter drive for me. Erica's got to make the long drive just like Katie anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you think you could make that run? Got to wake up at 3:30 for you.
It's going to have to be earlier than that because I got to actually get ready and then drive. And so it's tough for me, but one of these days I will eventually make it.
We'll do the.
Is that enough of a commitment? That's not a commitment, you think?
Yeah, no, that works for me. For me, it's going to have to be in the summertime run,
Yeah.
or warm enough run. But that would be cool. That would be a blast. And it sounds like our hamster wheel crew is getting a little bigger.
Speaking of summertime, though, I think we should get some of our new running friends and actually do that beer mile that we have been wanting to do.
I'd love to. We could do it at Katie's house. Katie Fornash, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
With the pool.
Oh, we could do that. We'll have a couple.
Even if you have a sprinkler, we can get friends with sprinklers. It doesn't. We can make this a thing. We'll see.
I like the street Katie's on, but we could get some cameras, some GoPros. We can, eventually we're going to do really good with some video on this podcast. So, and we can.
Do we have any friends with the drone?
Do we have any friends who know a lot about video production and audio? Oh, I would need to shout out somebody, a few of you, really. But the last podcast, we talked about merch and, hey, we reached out. Do any of you guys know people who make, Erica knows nothing about this right now. But I had a couple of people shout out and say, hey, my so-and-so's husband, or this person does T-shirts and hoodies, and you should use them. And one of them, Lena, is like, they do it for their... I was going to call it the Penguins team, but they're not the Penguins, but they're Reach the Beach team.
Okay.
So I want to thank, you listeners for coming out and giving us some shout outs about the intro music and about merch and about everything else we got going on. So that was great. It's really cool to see some response back, especially like the week of or just a day or two after an episode. So that was awesome. By the way, that episode did really well. I'm telling you that again for the first time, Erica.
I'm so happy it did. That was a lot of fun.
Amanda was awesome. Amanda was epic, and Amanda, we love you for it. So, Katie, we love you for coming on again. What did we call it again? Friend of the pod.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we're going to have another friend of the pod coming back in a couple of weeks, so
yes, we will.
Be excited for that. But I got to get packing, Erica. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we go?
Oh, I want to shout out my new running friend. I don't think she listens, but that's okay. Her name is Lynn, and she's been dragging me out in the cold, early morning winter weather to keep me accountable for my Tokyo training and the long runs. And we're helping each other get out there and get them done. And I don't know what I'd do without her. I'd be stuck on the treadmill. So thank you, Lynn, for being my buddy. Yeah.
Like, where's she from? Is she local?
Yeah, she's local. She's from the Wyndham area, and she's been coming out this way. I actually met her a few years back we did a Fleet Feet like winter running session. So she's been super nice. She's a wonderful lady. And yeah, we're helping each other get through Tokyo training because she's coming too.
Oh, she's going to Tokyo. That's so cool.
She is.
What is that in your hand?
Water.
Oh, it looked like a bottle of vodka.
Oh God. Who do you think I am? I like to party, but not that much.
Well, that's really cool. All right, cool. Shout out to Lynn. All I'm thinking now is Lynn City of Sin, as they call it down in Massachusetts. So
yeah, that's not her.
Oh, well, awesome.
Lynn is wonderful.
Well, great. Well, listen, everyone have a great week. We got another awesome podcast coming for you next week. I got to cut it short. I got a flight to make in the morning, but I really hope Friday we can meet some of you guys. We will be, Erica, you will be for sure, right?
I will for sure. Yes.
All right. Pipe
Just
dream.
don't know what time, but there's a pretty big window, so you guys will be able to pop in at some point. Hopefully I'll be there.
6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Everyone's welcome. Remember, Katie said kids and everything. Everyone's welcome. $1 to every pint goes towards Katie's Undies Run. Eric, remember you also said, Katie, bring like a tin can or something and throw your dollars in there. Throw some extra money, help Katie out. That would be awesome. So Pipe Dream Brewing, 6 to 10 on Friday. And I will do my very best driving home from Logan Airport to get there. I'm thinking I would be there at 9:45, but that's enough to have a couple.
There you go.
All right.
I'll stick around. If you text me and say, hey, I can be there, I'll stick around for you.
Well, I land at 8:15 or around that time. So
You checking a bag?
yeah, that's up for debate right now. I don't think I'm going to, but I was actually going to ask you this and now I will. I want to bring my Normatec boots. And the thing is, don't bring them. All right, I just kind of want to sit in the hotel room and with the Normatec boots. Fine, I won't bring them. I'm not going to check a bag.
Do you have like a percussion gun you can bring instead?
I don't. No, I need one. I
don't have connections for those. I'm sorry.
Anyone out there with a connection? Come on, guys, let's do it again. All right, cool. Well, all right, I won't check a bag, and I'm not going to check a bag to try to make it in time to Pipe Dream. That's what we're going to do. All right, cool.
Foolproof, man. It's foolproof.
Hey, thank you again, everyone. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram @OnTheRuns. I have bigger plans for Instagram and social media coming up soon. Eric and I just did a kind of little test run, and it went okay. We're going to figure it out, but
need some tweaks.
Yeah, but we're going to have some video content coming soon. Coming up the pipeline this year. But really hope to see you at Pipe Dream. Erica.
Don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
You're doing a good thing, everybody out there, when you're dropping your pants and taking a douche.
But it is true. I mean,
Time out. Taking a douche? It's a douche.
Isn't that the word?
No, it's deuce.
A douche. Well, I was, yeah.
Deuce. Like
Douche.
Like,
That's what I said.
No, you did. Oh, that could be the blooper. Sorry. I had to call you on that.